Hello. I recently started swatching out all of my professional watercolour paints and putting them into this new folder, and I finished that now, so I just thought I would show anyone who's interested my completed folder. So I got this Lick tin, I guess it's like a sports card holder, and I'll put a link to it below in the description box. I was quite pleasantly surprised about the quality of it actually. I'm really happy with this. So I've already done videos for some of the pages, the yellows, pinks and purples. A couple of people have asked how I organise the colours, and I've roughly stuck to the standard colour order which most paint brands use. And then with each of the colours I've grouped them just how most please me really, often by the cooler version of that colour through to the warmer version of that colour or vice versa. So cool yellows, mid yellows. I've tried roughly to keep similar pigment numbers together, but if there's too much variation then they'll get split up a bit. Also to mention, I've included the light fast ratings from the different brands, and I'll keep a piece of paper in the front of the folder with a guide to what each of the brands' light fast rating system is. I've not bothered to include the granulating properties because that's pretty obvious by looking at them, or the staining properties of them. Occasionally I've got awkward transitions between colours, but I'll just have to live with that. So I think this is where I'd shown up to in previous videos, the granulating dusky purples. And then it's going into the blues, PB29s. I love seeing the differences in granulation. So I've gone from the most granulating, the Schmincke French Ultramarine, through to Sennelier's Ultramarine Deep, which is one of the smoothest. And then the mid blues gradually getting cooler. And then these beautiful deep granulating blues I've put together. And the lighter turquoises. So you've got the PB28s, which are slightly cooler than the PG50s, with the cobalt turquoises, cobalt teals, and then a few of these beautiful minty greens. Then I did a video recently on all my granulating greens, so I think most of these would have been included, except perhaps the earth greens. Zoisite has got to be one of my all-time favourites. It looks like the surface of the moon. And then probably my least favourite page spread out of the whole book. Sorry to all the green lovers. And then getting into the warmer greens. And then probably my favourite of all the greens, these lovely dark olivey granulating greens. Going through into earth colours. I already included my yellow ochres earlier in the book. I felt that they fit in better with the warm yellows. So I go straight into a couple of raw siennas that I've got here. And then it's nice seeing the difference between the different burnt siennas, the PR101s, the PBR7s, and then these lovely PR206s and PBR25s. Some lovely granulating browns. Daniel Smith Environmentally Friendly Brown Iron Oxide has got to be one of my favourites. And of the deep cool browns, I really like Roman Szmal's Van Dyke Brown. And then some wonderfully interesting browny, blacky granulating paints. And then finally I mixed together all of my greys, blacks, Payne's greys and neutral tints, just going through the slightly warmer ones, then the more purpley ones through to the cooler bluey ones. And then, contrary to what some people thought, that I would fill the entire folder, I have actually got, oh, and there's copper, I have actually got quite a few pages left. So I might possibly jiggle these round a bit and spread them out a bit more so I've got the odd space here and there. But I thought what I could also do is swatch out some of my non-professional watercolours. So I've got a neon set from Paul Rubens and perhaps my Gansai Tambi set that I've got. And other than this Rembrandt copper, I haven't swatched out any other metallics, and possibly I could do my white watercolours onto black squares. So yeah, I absolutely loved putting this together. I chose not to video doing the rest of it because I was just enjoying it as an exercise of complete relaxation. And I just did it in bits here and there in between other jobs and things. But it's got to be one of my favourite books. I've absolutely loved flicking through. Most of the duplicates that I've got are ones that have come in sets. Oh, I wouldn't have had them otherwise, really. I definitely don't need any more of these mid blues. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that quick flick through and that I've left long enough for you to pause any pages you wanted to take a closer look at and zoom in on them. I do still have my old swatch folder, which has been in a couple of previous videos. So that's the layout of my watercolour tubes in their containers. And I've still got some swatches brand by brand. So that's Core, Mission Gold. And then things like granulating paints or what's in a specific palette at the moment. There are metallics and whites. And then the rest of it is other mediums, so gelatos, flash paints. I've got swatches from dot cards. These are from Daniel Smith's dot cards. and then things like Neocolor 2s and all my pencils. Oil pastels. Markers. And then I've got colour charts from different brands at the back. I just find it really, really useful that whenever I'm drawing or painting, I have the swatch of the medium that I'm using right next to me. I know lots of people probably wouldn't work that way, but I just find it really, really useful to be able to go and get the exact shade that I want at that moment. And this is just the system that works well for me. So yeah, as you can see, it's very used looking. Well, thanks ever so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Bye.